Hello, we're live. Welcome to FMA discussion. Tonight, this is episode 87, and tonight we are featuring GM Dan Medina. If you are checking in, tell us where you're watching from and hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to FMA discussion on YouTube. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, no complaints. Today we were, for Northeast, we were in the 50s. So that's good. I mean, that's unheard of.
Oh
We're
yeah,
in
the
the
weather here, I went out today and didn't have to wear a jacket or nothing.
yeah.
It was hot. It was like a nice cool, you know, summer day.
Yeah. We're so 50, I mean like mid 50s for us in mid December is really nice. It's
Yeah.
it's actually kind of heard of. But next week we'll get single digits or something.
Hey Alvin, I see Alvin is on there.
Hey, Alvin. Matter of fact, I did a class with Alvin. Yeah. We'll have to get him on here too. Alvin seems like a good guy.
Yeah. He actually is. He's a really
Yeah,
good guy.
yeah, it sounds it. So yeah, before we get started, I'm actually really looking forward to this because I always like getting people on here that, like, I don't know much about like your system or system in general. So I always like getting guests on here where there's like a really learning curve for me. Not that it's not enjoyable to get other systems on there that I know about, but it's really extra special when I get something on here that I really don't know a lot about in the system. So I really look
Right.
forward to those ones where because it's such a learning curve for me as well. So all that being said, um, you know, I know your track record goes a long way. So first stop. What was your first FMA experience? Who, when, and where?
Well, my first FMA experience was with Ricardo Mendoza. He was a member of the Black Masters Sphinx Karate Clan of the Philippines. And
Spanx, Black Master Spanx.
yeah, and it's one of the really old systems in the Philippines. They are actually part of the originators of the Philippine Karate Association with,
Okay.
Geronimo and all those guys.
I remember.
you
Remember
know,
about him. Okay.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so they are, the first ones.
Hmm.
And so, their system is pretty eclectic. Uh, you know, in addition to, they incorporate, Japanese forms and stuff, but they also have the Filipino version of their own forms.
Hmm.
And it was like the training when I was there, it was pretty hard. My first exposure to it, was you want to work out with us? Okay, here, get in a horse stance, and we'll tell you when to get up. And if you get up before we tell you, bye. Pretty
What
much.
year? What year was this? Or
19,
about what year?
1978.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Now, I had other experiences in martial arts before that, but we're talking about Filipino
Yeah.
martial
Yeah.
arts,
Yeah. No, understood.
you
Right.
know.
Right. But still,
And
78.
so and so they put me in a horse stance. And the next thing my body is shaking, I'm sweating, I start to get up a little bit, and he comes by and he says, "You get up, you leave. You're not that's it." And so I had to just bear it. And I tell you, I couldn't walk for a couple of days after
Oh
that.
yeah, I'm sure if you're not
But
used to
they were not expecting me to come back. You know.
Oh, so this is kind of like their little test. Okay.
And so they couldn't believe it that I actually came back, right? And
Okay.
then they started training us. This was actually in Guam, okay?
Wow. Oh, okay.
In Guam, right? And we actually went from Guam to the Philippines. It took a couple of months, of travel by sea. Okay, I was a sailor,
Okay,
and
Navy, right, right.
this was aboard an ocean going tug, and that's where we practiced. And so for a couple of months, it was hard practice, and
Mm.
basically he's Ricardo Mendoza said, "Okay, I am taking you to my hometown where our Sphinx organization is at, and you guys are gonna train there from sunup to sundown, and then after that, we're gonna put on a tournament just for you guys." And so
Mm.
the training was brutal, and I mean, breathing exercises. Some of the breathing exercises we did were, sitting cross-legged on concrete floors, and we had to, breathe in and you breathe out, and you had to hit your fingertips on the concrete floor, and then drag your fingertips as you do dynamic tension on the concrete floor, training the tips of your fingers,
What was left?
because a lot of the stuff that they did was, when they grab you, the grabbing in the Sphinx system is in such a way that when they grab the skin and they pull, they tear the skin away from the meat of your body, so
Mm.
they cause internal bleeding right off the bat, and
Charming.
so that that was the kind of training that we were doing. You can't train people like that here in the US,
I've never even heard.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right, right. That's
and I've introduced that. A lot of times I'll go to a seminar and tell somebody to throw a punch, and I'll go boom, boom. And then I'll just grab the skin from the inside of their bicep. And the way we
mm,
grab is a special grab, you know? And when we do that and we grab and we pull, you're not pulling away. That skin is so tightly gripped in our grip that you try to pull away, you're going to rip yourself, instead of, and so when you rip and you pull, you're yanking them into the blows that you're throwing, so that
yeah,
was the
yeah. It's
sphinx,
not right. It's not like it's
part of the
stopping
sphinx
there.
system, you know,
Jeez. Alvin
Oh, you
is
see what
saying,
Alvin said there?
yeah,
He
he
said,
really shirts when he says it.
you
I think I
still
still
have the
have.
marks.
Wow. Let's just get it. I'll take an opportunity to say hello, everybody. Obviously, Alvin, thank you for jumping on. Brian, hey, brother, thank you for jumping on. Antoinette, Chavez, hello. James Irwin, hey, buddy,
Hey,
thank you for
Bruce
jumping on.
Albach,
And
Antoinette
Bruce.
Chavez, hi, how are you? She's
All right.
Antoinette Chavez is one of our representatives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So if you're
Okay,
ever
we
in
were
New
just saying.
Mexico, you go see her.
Yeah.
Uh, Alvin is also a rep. Under
In San
uh,
Fran, right?
what's that?
San Francisco,
Uh, uh,
right?
uh, I was saying that Alvin Albano is a
Yeah.
rep uh, with under Brandon Jordan.
Oh, but is he? But Alvin lives in San Francisco, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay. 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 Okay.
yeah. And
Okay. I understand.
so, yeah, the system is slowly spreading all across the U.S.
No, good for you. I mean, that's what we need. Like we were talking. Well, we'll get that. Not to jump subjects. We're going to
Yeah.
cover that.
But
So I
yeah,
guess.
but that was the Sphinx system, and the teacher that we had, Ricardo Mendoza, he was he wanted our system not to have any set rules. It was like the Jeet Kune Do before Jeet Kune Do. It was, actually, I still have the belt buckle that he gave me back in 1978, and it just says Black Master Sphinx, no style but all styles, right? And so he wanted us to be that. If you're fighting, and we used to fight a lot, we'd go traveling to all the tournaments and stuff, and and he want people to go, oh, he's a taekwondo stylist. No, no, he's not. he's Kung Fu. No, wait, what is he? You don't know
Black
because
Sphinx.
you know.
Yeah, he's a member of the Black Sphinx.
Yeah, but
So when did
but
they
it was an eye opener, you know.
yeah, yeah. So there are they the ones who first introduced you to weapons?
Yes, they are.
Okay,
That's
okay.
the first time that it was our niece 63 generals.
That's a
And
new one. Okay.
when I started doing that, I fell in love with it, and I've taught it to a few people, mostly my higher ranking students.
Hmm.
Because I know so many systems, because of meeting so many masters and training. You know, 47 years of training just FMA. You know, uh,
You see a lot of people.
it's it's been a journey, and everybody has something special. You
Sure,
can't
sure.
just dismiss anyone.
Yeah, no, no, no. I mean, yeah, I mean, so wow, 63. So what was it
and
stick based?
and so the system, the we started off with like the cincoteros, and,
Oh,
and
okay.
they're they're different. The strikes are different. Nobody that I know of has the same strikes as these strikes. Everybody's ones and twos, threes and fours,
And five in the middle.
and five, and so the three, four, and five are the same. The one and two are not.
Huh, because
Yeah.
one in most systems, your one is even like here, and your
Right.
five is pretty consistent.
Right.
Yeah, huh.
And so, and when we learned these particular cincoteros, right, you actually have your weapon pointed forward over here like this, right? And then when you go to strike your number one, you're actually coming in with a stab, which turns around into a watik, and that's your number one. And so when you block the stab, you get hit by
Right,
the
it was tick.
actual angle number one. And that's how the number one starts. The number two is straight across the knees. So you're going from high, and then you're dropping all the way down to
Mm,
floor level for the angle two, straight across both knees. And then you're coming back up. So there's a lot of level changes, right?
ah,
And so it's a little different. So
yeah,
that
I've
was
never
the first
seen
style
it.
that I learned, you know,
That is
and
different. I've never seen a count like that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I use it, sometimes when I'm playing with people, and
Mm,
they'll go, "Where did that come from?" you know, yeah,
63.
yeah, and so that was the that got the ball rolling, right?
Yeah, like
So
you saw it and you
you
were
know,
hooked.
once I got introduced to weapons, I was hooked.
Yeah, it's funny what it does to some of us, huh? It's like you see
Yeah,
all this empty hand kicking. Like I was the same way. Like I still like the other stuff, but when I
yeah,
saw the
oh
knife,
yeah, and
just
and when I came back, uh, I came back to the U.S. I only spent maybe another month and a half in the U.S. and you know, the tugboat that I was on was given to the Mexican government, so I was without a boat now.
you
And
were,
so they asked me, "Hey, where do you want to go? We're going to give you a choice anywhere in the world." I said, "I want to go back to the Philippines." They
yeah.
sent me back to the Philippines. So I from 1978 to about 1981 or so, 78 and then
Wow.
80. Yeah. I lived in the Philippines. And so I was with the Office of the Provost Marshal
Okay.
working there. Yeah, we had a little what do they call it? A motto. You know, when in doubt, choke them out. No,
Yeah. Yeah. When in doubt.
I mean, we were bad. We were the kind of guys that we loved action. You
Yeah.
kind of you live for the adrenaline rush.
You're
And we were
young.
we were in the Philippines, We were uh, in Olongapo City, where at that time we're talking the wild, wild west of the Orient.
Mm.
And it was there. It was still martial law. For uh, the anyone that was not Filipino.
Oh,
And
okay.
so when we were out and about, if you were caught out in the streets after midnight, you got arrested. And that was our job.
Mm.
That
Ah,
and
okay.
drug dealers, black market, things like that.
Mm.
You know,
Ah,
AWOLs.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
So,
wow. So then, all right. So you're back there. Are you at this time kind of still doing this particular system, or were you able to expose yourself to other systems?
well, I didn't have the Sphinx system there, but I met a gentleman by the name of Reynaldo Ginkgo, and he was a student of Carlito Lanyata, and
Oh,
also
Kuntao. Kuntao,
and
right?
also he was a Kyokushin Kai uh, uh, instructor. Masoyama style, hard. Just it
Mm.
was makiwara, sandbags. Everything that you did was you want to break somebody when you hit them.
Yeah, that
it,
tough.
it, it was when these guys kicked them solid sandbags, they would bury their feet into a sandbag. When people
Mm.
hit, in the states we have all these soft uh,
Yeah, yeah,
we call them bags filled with feathers. When you're
yeah,
used to hitting sandbags. In fact,
yeah.
I've known of people that actually took up the tie bags and actually filled them up with ground up rubber tires, you know, to really condition.
Oh, to their
Oh
shins.
yeah, oh yeah, and so yeah, I've seen where you know 16-year-olds would take an ISCA, you know, one or two ranked champion and tear them up because they didn't have the same kind of training.
Yeah, or the conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So, oh yeah.
That's
So,
something to be said for that,
you
honestly.
know, the so I trained, and you know you just give it all you got to whatever you're doing, and
Mm.
we fought in Angeles City, Clark Air Base, would hold karate tournaments and stuff like that. And back then it was all bare knuckle. You were hitting, and if you caught somebody right, you're dropping them. Even
Oh, fair
body
enough.
shots, you drop them with body shots, you drop them with kicks. It
Mm.
was you know there was no pads.
Mm.
It's just I've seen people get their shins broken with just a SEPA kick. And so people just don't know. The Philippines is you want to learn real martial arts, where they
Especially
don't
back
pull the
then.
punches.
Yeah, especially back then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yeah, yeah. Wow. So, so then what was, all right, so you're there to 81. What's the next stop? Are you coming back to, did you come back to America?
Yeah, I came back to San Diego.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And lo and behold, it's like little things just happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And uh you know it was Grandmaster Nari Babao.
I'm trying to get I think his son's coming on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah. So Nari Babao was the first full contact weapons champion of the US.
Under
Okay.
Dan, right?
you know and Dan Inosanto is actually his son's godfather.
Okay,
Right.
I knew Dan Asano, there was a connection there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, you know, uh, Ken Singleton, a Kyokushinkai instructor in San Diego, he put on this karate tournament, and then he at after all the weapons forms were done, he goes, okay, now for you guys that took first, second, and third place in weapons forms, this is your chance to see if what you do works,
In the forms.
and
Oh,
so when I went, at that time, Nari Babao was had duty, so my coach was his wife, Zina Babao, right? And so uh, when we went, me and Jack took first and second place in forms, right? And when it came to fight, you know, I was the only guy that signed up, you know, and so the announcer is going, hey, come on, guys, let's show, don't let him just win by default, yeah. And so they got a couple of guys to come fight, and so I fought a guy that had the Shanai, and back then, you know, I had this thing about honor. You know,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Where, okay, if I disarm you, I'm gonna stop because I'm not. You're not gonna
yeah.
stop
I
me.
mean,
If I disarm you and I still have my weapons in my hands, you're toast. So
yeah,
I stopped. And
yeah.
so I didn't want to actually make contact with the person unless they actually still had a weapon in their hand.
Hmm.
You know, and so I'm fighting this guy with the Shanai, and I come in, pow, 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 and I break the Shanai. I mean, we're hitting hard, and I break the Shanai. And finally, after getting his Shanai taped up a couple of times, you know, he did get in a clean blow, so you got to give it to him.
Sure, sure.
And then I fought the next guy. The next guy had the nunchaku, right?
Oh, okay.
All right. And so, he's swinging this nunchaku. I just, pa, 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 that nunchaku goes flying up into the audience, and so to make a short story, long story short, right? It was good.
Yeah.
I went home with a trophy that was something like 4 or 5 feet tall. you
Yeah,
know,
back then, yeah, they were like bigger than the
a big
actual.
trophy, right? But the thing was is that after the fight, people were coming up to me and asking me, what martial art are you doing? What was that? Nobody knew what it was.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
because this is like early '80s, right?
yes, it was early
And
80s.
you're not in Los Angeles. I mean, you're
No,
not
we're
in
in San
Stockton.
Diego.
That's what I mean. Like you're south, so maybe it didn't reach from Stockton, Los Angeles. So yeah, it makes sense that they didn't
Yeah.
know.
And so so they're all going, oh man, what's that martial art and all this and all that. And then the guy with the Shanai, I actually ran into him maybe a week later.
Mm.
I was crossing the street and he was crossing the street from the other side, and he recognized me and he made a beeline for me. He said, hey, aren't you that guy I fought at the karate tournament? And I go, yeah, yeah. Man, my legs still hurt because I caught him across the leg with the. Well, I
Oh,
mean, we were hitting,
yeah, 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 yeah. That's funny.
yeah,
Wow.
but a week later he was still in pain, from the shots. But
Wow.
and I went and fought in a couple of more stick fighting tournaments in San Diego, and then I got transferred to Hawaii. You know,
Oh, so this is but mid '80s or
yeah, yeah. Uh, let's see, 17, yeah, it was towards I was like 80. It was before. I was in Hawaii for 4 years, and so I left in '90. I
All right.
left
So
Hawaii
yeah.
in
All right.
1990. You know,
Okay.
and
So
so
off to Hawaii.
off to Hawaii, and when I went there, I was told to go study with Snooky Sanchez. He was a student of Floro Villabril.
Ah. Okay.
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 And and I was also asked, that while I was there to pay my respects to Great Grandmaster Padoy. So when we got to Hawaii, the first thing I did was I looked through the yellow pages and found Master Padoy's phone number and called him at home.
Mm.
And there happened to be a couple of students over at the house, and we had just flown in. We just checked into the hotel. We were in the hotel maybe 40 minutes, And he says, "Yeah, well, come on down. We'll wait for you."
Oh,
And I'm
all
like, "Oh
right.
man," we just
Yeah.
got
You
there,
just got.
right?
Yeah.
And so, and then go, "Oh man, I can't go there empty-handed. We got to go get a fruit basket or something,
Or something.
And so
Yeah.
we did. We got a fruit basket, and went over there, and I got introduced to by the students to Grandmaster Padoy, and
Okay.
and Master Padoy. I told him, how I had this interest about learning and all of that.
Mm.
I didn't mention that I was actually sent to go see Snooky Sanchez, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. I might leave that
but
out. Yeah.
because I was told that Master Padoy was in retirement.
Okay.
And so when Master Pidoy goes, "Oh, you want to learn? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, you be here on," and all of a sudden,
Ah.
hey, that's all she wrote.
And also, and that was so wow. So you were there. So
90, I think it was 91, uh, uh till 90, yeah, till, let's see, maybe 87, 87, 80, 89, 90. Yeah, maybe from 87 to 90, you know,
and you were training with him all that
the whole
during those
time.
years.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I not, he was the main person I was training with,
Okay.
but, because there's so many people there, you
Yeah,
know,
here in Hawaii is just.
a lot of Filipino martial arts in Hawaii,
No, I
you
keep
know,
hearing it, especially back then. I keep
yeah.
hearing that. Yeah.
And, well, see what people don't take into consideration before the Filipinos came to the United States, the first stop is Hawaii.
Hawaii. Somebody was
You
telling me
know,
that. So some just stayed there
and
instead of
so
going
a
to.
lot of
Yeah.
them stayed there.
That's why I
Like
hear. Yeah.
Flora Villabrel and Subing
Yeah.
Subing and all those guys. And so yeah, there was a lot of escrimadores in Hawaii,
Yeah.
and so I made friends with some of the students of some of the other escrimadores, because
Mm.
it was still kind of, if you're training with this person, you can't go train with that person,
Yeah. Okay. The
right?
door. Okay. They weren't that open. Okay.
No,
Okay.
there wasn't open at all.
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Right.
and so I made friends with some of the students of the other instructors, and we would trade information. But it's like, we're in my backyard, and I'm sharing what I know freely from
Mm.
my other instructors, and they're taping it. And then I'm going, "Well, you show something on the tape too, so that when you make a copy," and she goes, "Well, I'll show you, but we can't tape it. Or they'll show something that, "Well, I'll show you this, but still make sure that nobody sees it.
Yeah.
Because they would still be scared that if they were showing some of the secrets of their systems, then they would be kicked out.
Right. Right.
And so, but I made friends with a lot of people, in Hawaii. I was friends with almost all the escrimadores. In fact, we there was a seminar. Greg Allen.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
Okay.
R.I.P. But yeah.
Okay. Well, he came to do a seminar, and his seminar fell apart. And So I said, hey, if you still want to do it, we could do it in my backyard. I got a huge, huge backyard. So
Wow, all
we
right.
so we did, and so a lot of people showed up, and and so did some of the other instructors, and they're going, like Doce Pares, for example, right? Because
Mm,
he was, he made all those videos with the cañetes and stuff, right?
Greg
And
Alland,
so,
yeah, yeah,
he said, he taught Doce Pares.
yeah.
Well, uh, there are other systems called Doce Pares that are not associated with Doce Pares.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes. So,
Ah,
oh
okay.
yeah. So I think Bayet Abundio Bayet has a Doce Pares in his system. It's not has
Oh,
nothing associated with
with the
that.
right,
And
with the Canadians.
and there's also one in Hawaii, and it
Huh.
also is not associated with any of the cañete stuff. And
How
they use
interesting. Huh.
actually short sticks, and
Yeah.
when he was showing his stuff, they're going, "That's not Doce Pares," you know.
Oh, because
And
they didn't make the connection to the Canadians.
right, right,
Ah,
right.
I okay,
And
okay.
so they challenged him.
Greg Alland. Oh boy.
Oh yeah. And so they challenged him. All right. And I go, okay, guys, come on. You know
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
we're in my home, so give him a pass, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
But oh
jeez.
yeah, they were ready to tear him up,
Yeah,
But
it's so bad because I really
but
like Greg.
but
Yeah.
because of the respect between, when you're doing the real thing, you
Mm,
kind of gain a little bit of respect, and out
yeah.
of respect, they didn't, you know,
I'm
give
sure
any
Greg. I'm
bodily
sure.
harm,
I'm sure Greg
but
was very thankful to you.
you know, but yeah, but it's like the journey has been such
Wow.
a great journey.
Yeah, I mean, so when you're, so I know you're spending time with other people, but your predominant time is with GM Bedoy. Like,
Yes.
just for the viewers who maybe are not familiar, like, tell us. I guess maybe tell us about him as a teacher, and I guess maybe his style, if that's okay.
Okay. Well, the style of Derobio is, I would call it the Tai Chi, the Chin Na of the Filipino martial arts.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay. Uh, there are so many locks and and combination of locks and escapes, and so and a lot of stick grappling, right? And so uh, basically, it's like when you get trapped with your weapon, that's
Mm,
where the Derobio begins,
kicks in. Ah, okay. All right.
right? Because a lot of people go, I snaked you, now I can hit you. No, you snaked me. You just started the exchange, and
Mm,
now this is where our stuff begins. And so it's
ah,
like stand up jujitsu with sticks, with
interesting.
with all sorts of locks, and the locks, I tell you what, we're talking bone jarring, wrist breaking, limb
Mm,
tearing stuff. Okay. I mean, when we used to do this, and uh after class we would have to go soak our hands and our wrists in ice. I couldn't, when I go to shave and I put my hand on the sink to do like this, and I'd be, oh, because the pain in the wrist was so much,
oh man.
and you know but when we first started, there were 144 stick counters. These are locks that are applied once you've been locked up. So
Okay.
144 plus the escapes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah, that'd be
And
way too much information for me. I'd be like,
and and so I go out there and I'll show some of the locks, and it'll
Mm,
open up people's eyes, and I go, wow, it's like a lot of people have never been exposed to that kind of locks, and the locks usually lock up both hands, so it's not just locking up one hand and still leaving
uh,
your weapon hand free. We're talking
right.
both hands getting locked up at the almost
Yeah.
simultaneously, and
So,
and so. Uh, Derobio, like I said, it's a passing art, right? So basically, when you strike a number one, I'm going to go behind you. And
mm,
so I'm always going to be attacking you from behind, right? Where it's hard for you to defend, right?
okay.
If I stay
Okay.
in front of you, you can counter me really easy. I get behind you and I start manipulating your body, and keeping you control of you. You're not, I'm keeping your weapon away from my body,
I
and
gotcha.
so when we pass, uh the like, for example, an angle number three, right, it's coming waist high.
Mm,
Okay, we hit it straight down as we bring our stick up, and then we step. So
okay.
there's a lag in the footwork to the stick, because if you step as you're blocking, you're going to hit the stick into yourself.
Yeah, right. You're
And
deflecting it
so,
into yourself.
so
Okay.
you're block, or you're redirecting and then coming in, and now I
Okay.
get behind you, and
Okay.
that's how Derobio works. It uses your energy, your strikes against you,
Hmm.
you know. And so, I've had a lot of Filipino instructors actually invite me more than once to come back to their schools to you know, uh, you know, show my expression of the Robio Escrima. I've been lucky. I went and did uh, at one of the Balintawak World Camps. I got invited to go there and show the Robio, and the people that I showed it loved it. And guess what? Sam Buett and his students had me come back a second time.
Oh, wow.
You
Nice.
know,
Huh.
and just for them, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and I love giving this information. I'm one of those guys that I don't want to hold information back, because then
Hmm.
it'll disappear, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
you
Like
know
keeping the secrets, and
you
then when
know
you're gone, it's
if
like
it's a
yeah,
secret,
you understood
then
that. I know.
it'll disappear,
Yeah, like I never understood it. Like, yeah, I can't reveal this stuff. It's gonna die with me. I'm like,
yeah. And
oh,
so,
GM. We got a
yes.
couple questions. Does GM Medina have any old footage of GGM Padoy from Alvin? Any old footage?
Actually, yes.
Oh, you had in the arc in the back cave.
All right. I actually have footage of Great Grandmaster Pedoy teaching us the 144 counters,
And that's in the back cave.
and and so I have given copies to uh, not a lot of copies. I think I might given out maybe one or two. I think Tuhon Brandon Jordan,
Okay.
since he is my highest ranking student,
Oh,
so
oh, okay. Okay.
he needs to have that information. I
Mm.
can't just hold on to it.
Yeah, yeah, no. If he's your
Uh,
highest ranking, absolutely
and
understood.
and but I have footage of so many of the grandmasters. I mean, I have footage from the '60s that of Balintawak that I gave to the Sam Buett people.
Oh, no kidding.
Of when somebody did a video back in the '60s, and was that 8 millimeter, 9 millimeter, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, the old, yeah, the old
And
stuff.
and so I had all this video, and it shows them training in different places in forts, and
Mm.
uh, and it's not a bad copy. I'm talking maybe it's like a first or second generation copy.
Also, not like copy like 100 times, and then it's
Right, right. We're talking uh, clean, right? And
mm,
so I I have been gifted, so much
that's great.
videos of different grandmasters,
Those are treasures. Yeah, you're not.
and so I actually need to start, making little clips and putting them on Facebook, just so that people
Yeah,
will
you
get
might.
an idea of, I have tapes of Snooky Sanchez. I have tapes of, you know, it's just, you know, people need to see,
I would just so
these,
people can see. I think that's a
they need to see these old masters,
yeah, no
uh,
argument here.
and,
Yeah.
you know, uh, let's see. Somebody said something there about the Batanga style. Well, the Batanga style, that
But
was
you know what though,
Nari
I
Nari
do.
Babao's family
Yeah,
style.
GM, I
So
do have another question here though. Um, hey, Richard Pac-Man. Hey, all right, where clarification where they are not connected to Dos Pares at all, or just a disconnection or lost connection from the Philippines to Hawaii. Huh.
well, well
That's a
the well what you have to remember is, when you look at Doce Pares, they're using really long sticks,
yeah.
and it has a signature movement, you know. Their espadidaga, the way they move, it has a signature. And then when you look at this other stuff, and you look at how small the movements are, and you go, it almost reminds you of Serrata, but it's not Serrata, you know,
Oh, like about
you know,
yeah. Okay.
and maybe I should start posting some of these videos, so some people can see,
I think people would
some of
really.
these other masters, you know, doing, doing their stuff. I mean, because
I think you should.
they're all good,
Oh, I'm sure.
you
I'm
know,
sure they are.
you know, or their art
Yeah.
wouldn't have survived till this day.
Yeah, I think you should because that's people love seeing old footage of stuff like that, you know. And we got a couple more quick. Man, we're getting hammered with questions, GM. I hope you're ready. All right.
Okay.
How did you synchronize the Sphinx Club, the Batawango style, and the Werbo style to create your own fighting art? Which kind of goes hand in hand with my question, but we can tackle it now.
Okay. Well, the thing is that when you are taking systems and trying to combine them, it has to be something that actually works together. It
Yeah.
can't be, well, these movements are really, really hard, and then these movements are soft, right? You have
Mm,
to find the connection that connects them together so that they become one, you know? And so it's like, you could take a hard system of Filipino martial arts that goes force to force and go, okay, they're doing the disarms this way, and that way.
mm,
And now, how can I utilize that same disarm with the way I move?
mm.
Right? It has to be something that is connected to you personally, and it has to be a seamless merger, right?
Yeah.
It can't, when I'm moving, you don't know what's going to happen because I'm on autopilot.
Right. Right.
Okay. And I put it this way: if I don't know what I'm going to do ahead of time, how are you going to guess
How
what
you
I'm
gonna?
going to
Yeah.
do ahead of
All right.
time,
How you
right?
gonna know? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So there's no telegraphing of movement because
That's so
everything
true.
is created in motion.
Yeah.
And that's the true martial arts is you know, can you create in motion, you know, and
Mm,
make it work? You know, it's one thing to create in motion and have a bunch of, you know, junk, you know, that, yeah, it looks pretty, you know, but can you blend it in such a
mm,
way and have it that it works on autopilot by itself, right?
yeah,
You know, there can be no conscious thought between
right.
your movement and what's happening, right? And so when I tell people that I'm programming them, you know, and they go, but you move so fast. And I said, and back then, this is in the old days, and I would go, well, you know, that's because, you know, you're moving at the speed of uh, uh, what was that, a 250 kilobyte or whatever. I remember the old computers, the
Yeah, 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 yeah,
before
yeah,
the gigabytes, right?
yeah.
You know, and I'm going, that's because you're moving at a, you know, a 260, and I'm moving at a 700 and something, right? Or something like
Right.
that, right? So now it's like, okay, you're at 1 gigabyte and I'm at 15, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and the speed or whatever, you know, of the computer, right? And so you're training the mind to have the speed of a computer, you know, to be like,
Mm,
you know, it's like there's no lag, you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
No, right.
And so if you have lag, there's something wrong, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm always saying you got to create it in motion, you know, and and be effective in your creation, you know,
Mm,
and you know, and you know, it can't be robotic, you know.
mm,
You know, robotic is too slow, you
yeah.
know. Uh, it just has to be instant, you know. And
No.
you know, it's you know, and again, like I said, you can't take things that are not compatible and say, okay, I created this system with this, and this, but the systems don't are not compatible, right? You
Yeah, like
know,
fighting against each other.
yeah,
Yeah. There's
right.
no congruency.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
So
definitely.
yeah, because it's like, you know, if you want to move seamlessly
Mm,
and and not have any jerky movement, well, you can't be doing a hard style. You know, going.
yeah,
It has
with
to be
a
boom, boom,
golf
boom, boom,
style.
boom. You know, and
Right.
and and you got to move. You know, a mile a minute. You know,
Mm,
you know, it's like so. You know, so when you're creating, you know, you're an artist. You know,
yeah,
you're creating a work of art. You know,
yeah.
it has to be
No,
fluid, fluid.
that's a neat way of looking at it. And we got a couple more. Uh, I'm going to get to Julius here for another question from Alvin. Question about Hawaii Screaming Doors. Since GM Floral, Vilbril, and GGM Pedoi were friends, how much of an influence were they on their arts on each other? Good
Well,
question.
you know, you see them, and you know, a lot of the old screamadors would, uh, how would I put it, play together. You know,
Mm.
right? But they still kept the secrets to themselves. You know, you know, and so you know, like Master Pedoy, he goes, you know, like Kali, our niece, you know, he goes, they work off the sound of the sticks hitting each other,
Mm.
right? It's like clack, boom, 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 right?
Yeah.
Right? So they work off the sound, off the beat, right? So if you take that beat away, it throws their rhythms off, right?
Mm.
And so think about that, right? You know, when you first hear that first click, right? Boom, now you're doing your stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's always clack, boom, 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 clack, boom, 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 clack, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, right? So there's always that sound, and then
The
yeah,
little pop shots afterwards.
yeah, and so and so whereas we're getting behind the blow, so now there is no right
Mm,
because now you got behind, right?
right.
So you're taking that away, the sound, yeah, you're not working off the sound, you know.
Mm,
And so, little things like that, Master Pedoy had so many different sayings, uh, you know, uh, be like a reed in the wind,
hmm.
and sometimes you wonder, it took me a long time to figure that one out, you know,
Yeah.
because, because you're going, oh, be like a reed in the wind, okay? And you're, and it's that movement, right? He goes, if you look at when a strong wind comes or a hurricane or whatever, right? All the stiff objects break and are gone, but the
Yeah.
glass is still there, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
He goes, be like the reed in the wind. And
Ah.
so, when I met Rafi Pambuan, and he has this way of using that kind of movement,
Mm.
and we'll measure sticks from fist to shoulder, and we're one step, you take just one step, and that's how close you are. And now I try to hit you, and you have to weave out of the way, but you can't step.
Oh, you got to wait like a Lastico.
Yeah, right. And
Ah. Okay.
so, but
Okay.
you're working from shoulder to shoulder, one arm's length away, you know. And so I put my fist in your shoulder, you put your fist in my shoulder, then I take one
Okay.
step back. And then now that's it. Now
Wow.
now you're using body shifting and weaving and that movement of like moving in the wind, and and
Mm.
you're striking at each other and actually making the other guy miss.
Right. Right. Right.
and and you get to a point where you can actually really pick up the speed, and you're that's sticking, and
Yeah.
you're right there in front of each other.
Yeah.
Once
Feeling the
one
wind.
wrong move and you're getting tagged.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, but that brought it together, learning,
Mm.
meeting other people. Sometimes you don't get the meaning right away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
Huh.
things, because we learn a lot of things. The masters, they teach you and teach you and teach you, and sometimes you don't have a use for what they taught you because you don't really understand it. And then
Right.
years later,
You mature
boom,
more.
light comes on. Oh, now I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
No.
and
No.
so
Right.
so you don't never throw anything away. You just put it to the side until you
Yeah.
understand. And come to learn what you're really doing. And so uh, you know the these guys were geniuses when they were creating these systems.
I know what they came
And
up with. You
and
know.
and you know the Filipino martial arts is a martial art for the intellectual.
Hmm. I like
You
that.
know, I tell you, you know, uh, most of my students were, scientists, uh, engineers,
Mm.
doctors, all these cerebral type people.
Ah,
you
interesting.
know you know Guys that worked on the security systems for the CIA, creating their security networks. And you know uh
Wow.
you know uh I even have special operations guys, that they can't tell you what they do because they'll kill you if they have to tell you.
Yeah, yeah. It's
you
information they
know
can't let
and
go.
guys that have jobs that, and they're going, hey, I really put this to use, I mean,
Yeah, God forbid.
when you have an operator tell you I used this and it worked, you know, it kind of makes you, it gives you a good warm feeling inside because you saved their life,
Yeah, they were able to use what you gave them. Sure. So
And
then when
so,
you, wow. So what year? Okay, what year? About what year? It doesn't have to be exact. Just generally speaking, what year did you create your system? Where and all that?
you know, it wasn't till I'd say when I was in my last years of living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was getting ready to leave,
Mm,
and when I'll tell you, when I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I taught at 99% of every martial arts school there.
wow.
Okay, that's how well received it was. But as I left and I started, you know, uh, playing more with everything I know.
Mm,
You have to play with it. You gotta experiment. Uh, you gotta put. It's like doing these counter locks that I do. All right, nobody fights like this. And here, put me in the lock,
yeah.
strike, and I'll put you in the lock. Right.
Right.
So I go, wait a minute. There's got to be a way that I can train these locks in a more fluid and realistic way.
Mm,
So, you could start taking free flow drills where you're trying, pa, 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 trying to hit each other, and somebody applies a lock and you counter them right then and there,
right. Yeah.
And so you put it into, it could be free flow drills, it could be sombrata, it could be anything.
Mm,
But if you're doing sombrata and you do a disarm, is that the end of the fight? No. You disarm me, I'm going to disarm you while you're disarming me. You
yeah.
know, and so it's got to be fluid. It's got to be. There can't be any lag. You know,
Mm,
in your motion, in your train of thought. It has to be instantaneous, and the only way to do it is to do it.
yeah.
And and people go, do you spar? Yeah, I have my times when I go in there and I spar. When I lived in uh, on Amelia Island, I lived on Amelia Island for a while, and I had a jujitsu student, and he knew jujitsu, and he came to class, and all he wanted to do was fight. He didn't want to learn forms.
Mm,
You know, he just wanted to fight. Okay, how do I swing the stick? How do I get in? This is my jujitsu. How do you defend against it? Okay, so he's paying me to learn how to defend against his jujitsu.
yeah. Pretty good deal, huh?
Hey, you can't win, right? I mean, you can't lose on that one, right? And so, and we do the jujitsu, and we're on the floor grappling and stuff. And he goes, "I got you." I said, "If we were doing sport jujitsu, yes, you got me. But look at where
Mm,
your face is. Look at where your eyes are. I'll poke your eye out." And
yeah.
he goes, "Well, if you poke me in the eye, I'll break your arm." One day, I accidentally poked him in the eye. Okay.
Let me guess, he wasn't breaking your arm.
I tell you what, he jumped off of me screaming. I mean, screaming at the top of his lungs. Ah,
Oh my god.
I mean, it was horrifying.
Oh my gosh.
you
I
know,
would have vacated.
you know, and so I didn't see him for maybe 2 months.
Mm.
And then he came back. And I said, "You see."
Yeah. Oh, by the way, welcome back.
Right?
But do you
But
see?
we did we sparred with the sticks, and
Yeah.
we were using the asp batons. They're a little
Aspartame.
bit harder.
Okay.
They're a rattan stick with a little covering of cloth with a little bit of
Mm.
cotton in there. So when you hit bone, you're feeling that stick, you
No,
know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so and we would just beat the crap out of each other, you know, and just you know, and yeah, you gotta test it, you know. You
Mm.
can't just think that hey, you know, I look good doing this and
No, no,
you know,
yeah, you gotta,
you
yeah,
gotta you gotta go in there and take your bumps,
yeah.
and you know, like I said, you know, I was fighting full contact stick fighting in the 80s, um, you know, I got to meet you know, a lot of people, you know, let's see, um, you know, let's see, you know, in addition to, you know, Broiler Pedoy and, you know, Ricardo Mendoza had Ronaldo Genco Naribabao, Philip Pabalinas, he was uh, a I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, Modern Arnis and the Ocho System, uh, Rafi Pambuan, uh, Ron Harris from Paquiti Terja and Cruzada, uh, the Tuarz brothers, Daniel Santo, Richard Bustillo, Greg Jackson, you know, of UFC fame,
Mm.
Snooky Sanchez, Jimmy Tacosa,
Jimmy, there's a name.
you know, and so you know, you've meet so many people, you know, and uh, you know, and you just pick up stuff from everybody because you know, and they're willing to give it to you. You know, they're willing to, you know, give you some of their secrets if you're not a braggart, you know,
Yeah, yeah. If you're coming in there and you're
or
showing
you know,
humility and
if you're a good, honest person, you
mm,
know, with a good heart, you know, these masters will open up to you, you know,
yeah, yeah,
and so you know, so you know, you know, like I was saying, you know, with Greg Allen, you know, he stayed at my house for a little while there, and you know, showed me some stuff,
yeah.
and you know, and
It's a
then I met him.
shame. He,
I met him a couple of years later, and he said, "Let's spar," right? I said, "Sure, let's do it," you know, and basically, I used some of the stuff he taught me against him,
yeah,
and he didn't even know I was using it.
yeah. The key, yeah. It's too
Yeah,
bad he passed. He was,
yeah, yeah,
I really liked him.
yeah,
I mean, I went to a couple of his seminars. I mean, I really, yeah. It's what a shame, huh?
yeah. But you know, I have some videos of him. I think I have some videos of him too. I got videos of everybody, so
Yeah, you got to start. You got to start putting those out there
I got to
before.
start sharing. Yeah, I know,
I
I know.
know.
You know,
So, when you all right, so tell us about, obviously you came up with your system and all that.
yes.
Tell us about your logo. What's
Okay. Well, as you know, the Derobio. If you look at the original Derobio logo,
mm,
you know, it's the triangle with the fist like this holding the weapon.
okay.
Okay. What this means is that no blood will be spilt, right?
Mm,
So, you know, when you're saluting, right, and we salute like this means I come in peace, right?
okay.
When some people point their weapon down to the ground like that, all right, and the weapon is like that and the cup is on top, that means blood's going to run.
Oh, all
And
right.
that's a challenge, you know?
Uh,
And so I actually had that happen to Tuhon Brandon when he was younger, because he trained with me since he was a teenager. And I think he was in Virginia, and he went to a Kempo school, and they said, yeah, you know, after class, you know, we'll uh, train,
Mm.
and so he didn't know what to expect. They were Filipino. They did Kenpo, you know, and so it was at a Kenpo school. So after everybody left and he was there alone, they locked the door,
Mm.
and so he thought that was unusual,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
As would
and
I.
they just locked the door because they didn't want anybody to come in and interrupt them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But in Kenpo they salute like this, right?
Okay, I've
They
seen
do
it. Yeah.
that motion of doing like that. Well, they said that they did stick fighting too. So they saluted him like that and pointed the stick to the ground. And the first thing that came to his mind, oh shit,
Yeah, not
they
knowing
want
that
they want to hurt me.
inadvertently they, yeah.
and and so you know, and the door's locked. There's two of them in there, and
Uh,
they just said that they want to fight to the death, and that's the
uh,
only thing that was in his mind. And so when the guy said fight, boom! I mean, he broke that guy's nose right then and there. Just hit him and just blood all over the place.
yeah,
And the guy
that's
go, wait, stop! What are you doing? He says,
yeah.
well, he said he wanted to fight to the death. He says, no, that's because he goes, that salute means fight to the death. You know,
Oh,
you know, and he said, no, we borrowed that from Kenpo because and so, but yeah, I mean,
wow.
yeah, so
That's so then when just, so far as your students, like what's your ranking structure for your students? Like how's it go by?
okay, I kind of stick to like the old style ranking. Uh, I expanded it a little bit.
Hmm.
Basically, you're a student, advanced student, uh, assistant instructor, or instructor. So
Okay.
there's right. So and then what I did, because there's so much material, you know, you'd be a student forever
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
if I if I didn't break it up a little bit, right? So
Yeah.
what I did was is I made 4 levels of each, right?
Okay.
So if you're a beginning student, you're a white shirt, all right? So I have 4 levels of white,
Okay.
4 levels of black, 4 levels of blue, 5 levels of red,
All right.
and then yellow is for the master. You know,
Okay.
uh, I never wear yellow. It kind of you know competes with my skin and makes me look pale and stuff. I wear a black shirt all the time. you know,
So
uh,
you're all right, we're gonna
the thing is,
yeah.
I'm at that stage in my life where you know it's not about the rank. You know,
No, right,
no.
right. No, I got
Uh,
you. Yeah.
now everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to be a grandmaster.
Not this guy.
I just go. You know,
There's a lot of responsibility with that. I'm
it's
fine
all
where I'm at.
about can you move? Can you make
Yeah,
your artwork?
yeah, yeah. I'm fine
Um,
with that. Like just making my stuff work. I don't need titles.
yeah, yeah, and so uh, everybody recognizes me as a grandmaster. But to me, I'm still just a plain an old guy.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're gonna show. We're gonna show the. We're gonna show you now. So I'm gonna drop myself, and then we got a couple more questions to get to. One more from Julius and somebody else. All right. Let me
Oh,
just.
wait a minute. Somebody there said, tell him about the park incident that happened. Yeah. Okay.
You want to
This
cover that
is
quick? Okay.
all right. This
That's
is
gonna
really
kind of
funny. Okay.
parallel Julius's question. He wanted to know if
All
any
right.
action from you. So.
I'm here in the park training my students.
Okay.
Nice sunny day at the park. This car travels around the field a couple of times and they keep looking at us. There's 2 guys in the car. One guy gets out of the car, the other guy stays in the car.
Mm.
he comes up to me and he goes, I challenge you. And I go, say what? He goes, I challenge you. I said, okay. Do you know what we do? He said, doesn't matter. I'm challenging you. I said, okay. So what do you want to do? I have short sticks, long sticks, staffs. What do you want? He chose a staff. Okay. So I said, okay, to make things even, I'll grab a staff too. All right. And, I can use a staff. Right. And so the guy bows to me, and then he just comes in attacking, bam, 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 bam. And I'm just boom, 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 blocking everything. And then I kind of go down, and then I push him back, right,
Okay.
with the staff. Cause I don't want to hurt the guy,
Yeah, right.
So I
Sure,
push him
sure.
back with the staff. He comes in again, bam, 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 bam. All these strikes, I block everything. And this time I went to sweep him with the staff. I hit him a little too hard. I hit him in the ankle. I wanted to take him out of his legs,
Mm,
and the guy starts limping back a little bit, and he attacks me a third time. And, and I hit him not too hard, just, I tried to control the situation, you know, and then when he saw that, what everything he was doing was useless,
yeah.
he stopped, bowed to me, put the staff down, walked away. They got in the car and they drove away. And basically,
Well,
I could have hurt the guy,
yeah,
but
right. But right.
but you know,
No,
that's not what I'm there for,
no, right.
And
No,
so everybody thought that, wow, that was so cool because you controlled the situation,
right. Didn't
and
escalate
the
it or
students knew I was controlling it because they saw, I'm touching him at will with the staff,
yeah, yeah.
and and so but
Hmm.
go ahead and go do what you were
Yeah,
going to do.
no. I'm glad we took that because Julie's had a question about any answer. That was good. All right, I'm gonna.
Right across the fingers. Right, you just taking those fingers off. Right.
Again, sir?
Again, okay? So that's a little different. Okay? Right? So, okay. Right? So he strikes, hook. See the hook?
Yes, sir.
Bring it back. There's a peel. This is already. Right? So you're maneuvering him with the knife. Pick it up again. Use it regular. Yeah, a lot of times I don't do the same thing twice, only because if you move differently, I have to move differently too. And
Yeah.
go, right, and just cut right through, right, fillet, right. So it just gives you an idea how the knife is pretty nasty, right. So again, right. So I'm in here, I'm already there. Just stick it in there, just, right? You're not going to hold on to that, So let's play. This knife fighting style is comes from Laguna. Rafi Pambuan was a guy that showed me a lot of knife stuff.
So that's stuff that you were kind of showing there, somewhat from him. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The thing is to make it work the way you move,
Mm,
and and giving it your signature, right?
yeah.
Because I can't move the way you move because we're two different people.
Sure. Right.
I got to make it fit my style,
Yeah.
and so I take the moves and I go, okay, that works good that way. It works even better if I do it this way, right?
Mm,
And and you just try to make the things that work for you, and you just try to improve your overall performance. And, just like I said, if it goes against what you do and it doesn't blend with what you do, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's just gonna be counter. I got
Yeah.
another one. I'm gonna hide myself again. Hey, Chad. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Hope your
Hey,
seminar
Chad, how
went
you
well.
doing? And Seagon War, how's it going? Yeah, just playing.
Down there. So,
Yeah, right. You just got to play with it, experiment.
yeah, I totally agree. Put the helmets on, see what comes out. I mean, in
Yeah.
fun play. Yeah. No, I thought that was
You're not killing each other, but
no,
you're
no.
still looking for the openings and
Yeah.
making the other person block your stuff and
That's why I wanted to
yeah,
pull up because I thought it was like really nice. You guys are doing a nice thing without really trying to hurt one another while trying to find stuff and see what works.
yeah.
Like I think that's like so beneficial. I love when I see that from people doing that. I think that's so great. Um, I do want to bring up now though, for those who don't know, um, we got, and I'm gonna bring this up, folks. For those who don't know, GM has a book out for those who want to read on it, get more information. Let's I'll hide myself so we got some more room.
Yeah, my family had a lot to do with me writing this book also. They were very instrumental, uh, especially my wife, and my kids. They my wife took all the pictures. She edited all the pictures. She uh, my kids took all my scribblings and said, "Dad, this is a better way of saying what you want to say," and so it was a family, deal. And my wife, I have to give her credit. She put most of the work into this book because without her, this book would not be out here. She deserves a lot of credit on this one. And
So, what year? What year did it come out?
uh, it's been probably five years at
Oh, so
least.
somewhat recent. Okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, all right.
In fact, let's see. Uh, I'm looking at the book now. Let's see. Yeah, it's only been about 5 years.
That's all right. And where can people? Amazon, folks can get it there.
Oh, yeah, you can get it on Amazon. Tambuli Media. Mark
Tamboli, okay.
Wiley. Yeah.
Oh,
In
okay, yeah,
fact,
Mark.
you know, Mark Wiley. He just for some reason we got connected right out of the blue,
Hmm.
and he goes, "Hey Dan, they just made our niece and Eskrima the national sport of the Philippines."
Yeah.
And it was that year, and he goes, so Filipino martial arts is hot right now, and you're hot right now. A lot of
Mm,
people are talking about you and what you do and all of that. So if you write the book, I'll publish it.
fantastic.
And so I was asked to write the book.
Yeah. Yeah, but I
So,
mean, that's great. Wow.
you know,
So,
so
folks,
thank you, Mark Wiley. You know,
yeah, and folks, those who are interested, Tambuli Mia and Amazon,
yeah,
or
it
where
should
you
you should
find
be
it.
able to get it through just about any bookstore.
Okay.
Lot of fun historical
Yeah.
stories in
Looking,
there. You know, you know, it took me a whole year to write it. You know, and so it was not an easy thing to put together. You know, because
no, I'm
you
sure
know
it was.
you when you're writing, you know, about martial arts and
Mm,
history and all of that, you know, you have to do research because people will,
I gotta
you know,
check.
tear it apart. You know,
Mm,
if things are not correct or they don't jive or anything like that, and you know, and so I had to make sure that my dates were right. You know,
mm,
that my sources that were right. You know, things like that. So. And you know, and so you know, I talk about you know the Pulahan, which is the Philippine rebels or revolutionaries,
yeah,
or you know, of course, to them they are Philippine heroes, you know,
yeah.
that fought against the Spanish and Americans during the Filipino American War, you know.
Mm,
Uh, so you know, I talk about that. You know, they put a bounty on General Faustino Ablin or Papa Faustino Ablin, however you want to call him. You know, when they were asked to surrender, uh, all the guys that surrendered actually got hung or shot by firing squad.
lovely. That's a great
And
story.
he did not surrender. He did get
Mm.
captured, got shot, uh, and but you know you need to get the book so you can read about it, right? So I'm
No,
not going to
no,
tell you all
no.
the
I
story,
mean,
you know.
that's why I love doing
So
these interviews. You find out about books and all that. So, no, I mean, absolutely. I'm going to, before I get to one of my last questions, we do have one here from Julius wants to know, are you going to the FMA World Festival 2020? I'm going to guess no. What,
uh,
when is that actually?
yeah, I
Where
haven't
is it?
heard of it.
Maybe he meant 2021.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, where is this FMA festival
I
being
want to say
held at?
over there. Hopefully, somebody on here will know for sure. I don't
Yeah.
want to. Maybe Maestro Chad knows or somebody else knows. Chad, if you know, let us know. But I want to say the Philippines, but don't. I
Mhm.
think the Philippines. I
Yeah.
think. I think. I'm thinking he's meaning the following year. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. Yeah, he just corrected himself. He meant. Oh my gosh, where is it? Yeah, 2022. He meant. Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Which
well,
is over there. Okay.
we'll cross that bridge when it gets here,
I
right?
tell you, like we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to talk about now, something I'm really when I was going on your YouTube channel, there was a video I saw on there, something that really resonated with me, something I've been kind of preaching for a long time, and getting our youth an FMA, for a multitude of reasons. One, not that I want to be right, and I hope I'm not right, but I firmly believe 10 years, 20 years from now, if we don't get these youth in here, I think you're going to see some systems kind of like just fall apart or not have continuing lineage per se. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I definitely don't want to be right, but your video kind of paralleled this and something I wrote about and I preach about getting our youth in. And the title of your YouTube video was "The Future of FMA Lies in the Young Ones," and I couldn't agree more. So, what's your feeling on this?
Well, you know, the young kids, they're such sponges, you know, and
Mm,
they learn really fast, you know, and you know if you can get them, you know, to fall in love with the art, they will, and it's like, what kid doesn't want to sword fight,
What
right?
kid doesn't want to hit somebody with a stick?
you know, and so,
Yeah.
and I've always taught kids the same way I teach the adults.
Mm.
And so if I'm having, I do a lot of drills where we do multiple attackers, at first is 1-on-1, 2-on-1, then 3-on-1, then 4-on-1, and then whoever's in class that day, all of
Yeah.
them chase
Look at
that
me.
one person, right?
15 on one.
And it's not one person at a time striking, taking turns.
No,
It's
I got you. Yeah.
everybody all at once,
Yeah, it's truly multi-man attack.
right? And I have a video out there somewhere showing that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's on YouTube or Facebook but it's
I
a
didn't see it
multiple
on
attacker video,
to check
and
it out. Huh.
I'm up on a bench, and one guy by the name of Logan is defending, and you just hear me in the back, get him, he's getting tired, run, and he's having to defend and apply his counters
Yeah.
while defending.
Yeah.
All
And move.
right. And none of the strikes are in order. It's free flow.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know what's
And
going
he's actually doing it,
on.
and they're running into each other, they're running into each other's sticks like it would be for real. And and so whether you're an adult or you're a kid, if
Mm,
you have that rank, guess what? You're going to have to perform at that level,
I think
right?
it's great.
And so there's no kids class and adults class. It's class.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, so you got okay.
Oh yeah. And so, I don't have a lot of kids, but the kids that I do get in there,
Mm,
you know, they can perform,
that's fantastic. I think that's wow. I
you
love
know,
that. Yeah.
and so, look at what kind of confidence builder that is for the kids,
Oh my God.
where they're going,
Absolutely.
yeah, I was in class today. I had 4 adults chasing me with a stick,
Yeah. Dealing with
right?
stress,
And
dealing with
so
yeah.
everybody has to perform at the same level. They have to do the
Mm,
same things. There are no kids techniques and adult techniques. You
mm,
know, if I taught it to you, you got to be able to use it.
yeah.
And that's how I test you too. I don't. When I test somebody, a lot of the times what I do is I test you from day one to today,
Mm,
right? So I'm going, well, instead of going, okay, today you're testing, like in most martial arts, well, today you're testing for uh, your third cue in this karate or whatever, right?
mm.
And so you only have the material of third cue that you're going to be tested on, right? Or you're testing for brown belt. So you're only testing on the brown belt material required for you to get the brown belt. Whereas
Yeah.
what I do, I take you all the way back to day one. And from day
Mm,
one to today, show me everything I taught you.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
You know? So when you go for your instructor test, it takes a couple of days.
Ah.
you know,
Yeah, but
because you
it's
can't do everything I taught you in one day.
yeah. Right. I think
You
that's
know?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you have to do it all and you got to know it, And so, and then when you do go for instructor level, you also have to write a term paper on it.
Oh, interesting.
So, so yeah. And so, it has to be on the history of the Philippines, the martial arts, what
I
it
think
means
that's
to you,
incredible.
what it's done for your life. I mean,
I like
show
that.
me, you know,
Ah.
uh, you know, and so yeah, it's not just moving around. I
No, I
want
think that's
the intellectual part too.
no, I think that's fantastic. They have to be responsible knowing about the country where it's coming from, the history. So if they can have like an intelligible like, conversation with somebody who's asking them questions like
Yeah.
about it and all that. I think that's fantastic. Wow, I like that. Huh. Yeah, definitely, Rich. We're gonna get to all his social media. Absolutely. Matter of fact, you know what? Because we're coming up on an hour and a half. Let's do that now. So, sir, the YouTube channel is. I'll put all this down, but
Okay.
YouTube
I
channel.
think it's Mr. Eskrima.
I think you're right, because that's what I found. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to confirm that right now.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm pretty.
I hardly ever go. I haven't.
No, I think you're right as well. I think that's
Yeah.
that's what I remember. Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
It is.
I see Chad Bailey does the same thing that I do,
Yeah, I think
adults and
that's
kids
fantastic.
together.
You do have under Dan Medina though.
Okay. So yeah, I think if you put Dan Medina martial arts,
Yeah,
you'll
you'll
get it,
find it. So
and then
Richard,
just
Dan Medina. Yeah, you'll find it. I just looked up. But you have a really neat website, which I enjoyed going through. And the website is, I got that.
is I don't know if my website is still up.
I accessed something. I
I know
definitely,
I had a website at one time.
no, matter of fact, you know
I
what?
don't-
That's funny.
yeah.
It's, no, I definitely found it. There was
Ah.
definitely something. Yeah.
And
Here, it's, yeah, you got, it had to be your website because there was definitely a bunch of information regarding you. Let's see here. What is the Raja Academy of Martial Arts?
the Raja Academy is in South Carolina. Okay, so that website. Okay.
Oh, okay. You know what? Maybe it was that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's where I'm teaching out of right now. Is
it
the
was
Raja
pretty. I
Academy.
mean, they definitely gave information on you. I mean, it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I thought
Uh,
it was
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So the Raja Academy of Martial Arts. And obviously, you're on Facebook.
Right. And there's a lot of books that have information on me. The World Head Family Sokoship Council.
Mhm.
It's a organization of grandmasters.
Okay.
Uh, the people that are in it are like Helio Gracie. Basically all the heads of the systems that
Yeah. Yeah.
are true heads of systems.
No, sounds prestigious.
And
Yeah.
and so and that one was written by Bram Frank, I believe. And there's one also on Filipino martial arts written by Bram Franks.
Yes, I
Um,
know. That's where matter of fact, what I first saw and kind of like caught wind of you and all that. And folks, must get book if you have not gotten this. Must get book of the of FMA Masters and Grandmasters. Absolute must. This is where I first saw you in. So yeah, obviously you gotta have this, right? You're in it. But
yeah,
GM, you're in it.
yeah,
That's where I first caught. That's where I first, yeah. So
yeah,
must have
yeah.
book.
So yeah, I've come out in a lot of different books.
Yeah.
Uh, Mastering Filipino Disarms by Mark Wiley. I'm in there.
Oh, you're in that one too.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And so yeah, you know, there's even books in Spanish that I've come out in.
That you're in. Chad wants to know when you come into Florida.
Ah, well, I'd like to make a trip down there. I was supposed to go down to Rafi Pambuan's seminar. He always invites me down to his seminars. He's adopted me to almost like I'm part of the family now. Of Pambuan Arnis.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
Okay.
uh, so and it's just it is a long drive, but you know, when things get cleared, you know,
Yeah.
and we're out of the danger zone, you know, I fall into that danger zone. You know, old people are susceptible to this COVID thing, you know, and so I
No,
gotta,
oh, I
you
know,
know,
but you're in good, you're in good shape. So I trust
I
you're gonna
guess
be,
not bad for 67, right?
yes, I trust you're gonna be fine. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, my wife keeps me young, you know. She makes sure
Yeah,
that that I eat right, you know, stay
that's
away
it.
from the fats, you know. Don't
Exercise
eat that,
too.
you know.
Yeah,
So,
there
but
you
yeah,
go. But this has been an absolute pleasure. I want to thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's been,
yeah,
I
yeah,
learned a lot. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Well, yeah, you know, and you know, I have about 80 something videos on YouTube. I have
I saw,
videos on
yeah, and
disarms and all sorts of stuff.
yeah,
I have one that goes through disarms and it shows them from both angles and everything for angles 1 through 12, and
yeah.
I give multiples, you know, and
I was definitely checking them out. Yeah, those who are watching, I would highly recommend, check his YouTube channel out. You'll see sword, you'll see short, long and short rather. All the videos I pulled up to show here were all from GM Dan's YouTube channel. So those you're watching, I highly recommend you go there and check them out. Yeah, for sure. Any closing thoughts, sir?
well, you know, the like I said, you know, keep training, keep sharing, uh, the the more you go out there and you share, uh, it not only will are you doing yourself a service by spreading the art, you know, but you're also, you know, expanding others people's knowledge
Mhm.
of the art, right? Because you know, if you don't share, it gets lost, you know, and
Right.
uh, you know, and so much has gone by the wayside because in the old days people were not sharing, you know, everybody was keeping
Yeah,
stuff
that
to
makes sense.
themselves, you know, and yeah, I'm not going to give you everything, you know, so you got to come and see me and get some stuff, you know.
Yeah, but still,
But you
by
know,
what's your
I
point?
do post stuff on the YouTube channels and all of that, just to whet people's appetite and just show different ways of movement, you know, and uh, everybody I've met, I've had positive experiences with, you know, uh,
Yeah.
all the masters, you know, all been, every experience has been positive. I have not had a negative experience with a real FMA grandmaster
Well,
or master, you know.
that's good to hear. Yeah, I mean, I'm yeah, I mean, like again, doing these interviews, it's one of the goals is try to bring us all together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, and give us a voice and all that. So
Well, you know, a lot of people think, you know, that, you know, all the Filipino martial arts are still in the Philippines. But you know, you have the martial arts that left the Philippines in the early 1900s and came here,
mm,
and those systems are not in the Philippines; they're
yeah, I
here,
mean, the
right? And
Heron system.
so you
I mean,
know, we have legitimate, you know, Philippine grandmasters that are not in the Philippines, you know,
that's
and
100%.
that's what you have to look at. You know, look at what's here also, you
Yeah.
know, because you know, you have a lot of videos coming out of masters in the Philippines, you know, showing or showcasing what they know. But
Mm,
hey, you know, we have our own,
oh my
you
gosh,
know, and that
absolutely,
are here, you know, and so
totally,
we can't forget, you know, that hey, there's a lot of good people here, you know.
absolutely. There's a lot, absolutely.
So,
So, but well, again, I want to thank you, and if I don't see or talk to you, I mean, have a great holiday, and
all right, yeah, you too.
and take care of yourself. And so what I do is I'm going to download this to YouTube, and then the finished video, obviously I'll post it to your wall. So
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for everybody that came on and asked questions.
yeah.
There's so much of it here, and so
No, you did
sometimes
fantastic.
I get a little scattered and
No, you did fantastic. You did a fantastic job. I'm so happy to bring you on. So,
All
and
right.
yeah, no worries. But you take care of yourself, sir, and thank you again. Happy holidays.
All right. Same thing to everyone that was on the the call tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, sir. Take care. All right. All right. All right, folks. That was a good one. Always love such episodes that I don't know much about and learn more on. Julius, yeah, I definitely will bring him back. Absolutely, absolutely. Next coming up, Graciela. Miss Graciela is coming up. Jay, we got a couple before the month ends and all that, and then before you know it, we're gonna be into the new year. But again, thank you all those who came on, submitted questions, the comments, and all that. Again, if you haven't already, to see more of these great interviews, go to FMA discussion on YouTube, and they're all there in chronological order, 1 through 86 currently. This one here, 87, will be on shortly. And all that. And those of you who live in Florida, I'm going to be heading down there in January, like a month or so away, and I'm going to try to get as much interviews as I can down there. I'm going to grab my niece boys down there, Maestro Chad, hopefully Bram Frank, Chris and his father Bruce, and whoever else is in that area. So that's going to be fun. And Dwight Woods, of course, I'll have to catch up with him. But again, thank you for those who watched, and absolutely. We'll see, and hopefully see you guys all next week. Take care.